You are now listening to Unrelenting Humans podcast.
So, okay, what I didn't know is that you were a quad. So, on your YouTube channel and on your Instagram, you post videos showing people like what you do on a day-to-day to get groceries, to drive, just transferring from different, seats.
For sure. I try to do my best showing that, just because, just like how you were surprised hearing about like how you're a quad. Wow, that's crazy. Hearing like what you've gone through. A lot of people can't imagine what our lives would be like. They think like, oh, you probably just sit at home, you have help all the time. And yeah, that might be the case for some people. I don't want to, minimize their story or just say, what they do doesn't matter, because, we're all on this broad spectrum, of quadriplegics. So I mean, I don't want to say, I don't want to take away from what they're doing, but for me, I don't have, caregivers all the time coming in. I have my mom that comes sometimes, very rarely, but my mom comes sometimes. But I live on my own. I get groceries, and I'm independent, and I want to show that side of it and show people what it really is like.
Because when I talked to you earlier today on the phone, you said you were driving. So how can you tell us how you drive being a quadriplegic? Like, what is it? What do you use?
Yeah, girl. So I use hand controls, and they're the two types of hand controls that I use. One's called the tri-pin, and it's on the steering wheel, and that helps me steer the wheel. And then I also have this other hand control, and the name of it is slipping my mind. I'm looking at it because I'm in the car right now as I'm doing this. So tri-pin, and then there's another part. Oh gosh, my driving instructor would kick my ass right now. And I've said it so many times on my YouTube channel, but the name is escaping me. But just know I have hand controls that help me drive. Okay, one is on the steering wheel, and the other hand control is on the brake, and it controls the brake and the gas. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's how I drive, with my hands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, girl. It's not as crazy as you think. It's actually pretty easy.
Do you have a video on your YouTube of it?
Yeah, girl, I go in depth. I have a video talking about how I started driving, the whole process, driving school, getting started, the government helping me pay for it, and going through driving school, waiting, buying the car, talking about driving for the first time, breaking down my chair. Yeah, I try to show all the stages and talk about it as much as possible, because there was a time where I used to look on YouTube and look for videos, and I just couldn't find any updated videos of people learning to drive again,
Yeah.
with the spinal cord injury. So, yeah, I try to share as much as I can.
Are there any other things that you have found that you couldn't find on the internet or in the media?
I have that's what sparked the whole YouTube thing, because I wasn't finding a lot of videos that were helpful for me. So yes, the first video I ever made for YouTube was my bladder surgery video, and I know I went pretty extreme with my first video, but I showed I pretty much taped all of my experience in the hospital before bladder surgery, while I was in the hospital, and after. And then I showed doctor's appointments, and then me getting a blood clot while I was healing and recovering after surgery. And so, that was my first video. And I hadn't really seen any videos prior to my bladder surgery. I was looking, and I saw one video of a little girl who had a spinal cord injury, and she had my surgery, which was helpful, but it still didn't give me enough. I'm a grown woman living my life, so I needed something a little bit more relatable. So that's one reason why I started YouTube. That wasn't finding videos that I could relate to.
That's courageous, because I'm pretty sure like a lot of people are just kind of private or afraid or something to like share so much intimate details of their life. And you're actually like more than willing, because you want to actually help people. And so I like that. That's cool. That's
It's tough, girl. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, do I want to share this? And then other times I'm like, girl, that's why you started this, just do it. So I struggle with, it's not that easy to press, share. It's really not. I go back and forth. I talk to my boyfriend sometimes, and then I talk to my mom, and she's very like, you need to be private, don't share everything, keep things to yourself. And I do. I don't share it all. There are many things I don't talk about, but
but if it can help someone else,
yeah,
it's kind of That's kind of the, purpose. So,
Yeah, exactly.
it's not like you're just up in your bathroom sharing while you're brushing your teeth or
Yeah, there's a point.
talking or something. Yeah,
Exactly.
actually.
There's a reason for it. There's a reason. There's a need. I know that there's a need. And, I get messages sometimes from people and they're just like, man, how do you use a restroom? Or how do you, live by how do you get out of the bed? Or how, and their questions. And I want to answer them, and, if I'm happy to share my experiences. It's no way about, for me at least, getting all the attention and all that. I really try to make helpful videos for people to learn from, really.
Yeah. No,
That's really the
that's
goal.
good. No, I'm getting a lot of that from people that I talk to with different differences, and them wanting to be more, have more exposure just in the world in general, so people can be more exposed and more used to all these conditions. So it's not such a foreign thing where we're like, oh, how do you do this? Like, it can be regular in the media. Like someone I just talked to a couple weeks ago, how she's advocating to get more roles in Hollywood played by disabled people, and getting more disabled characters just in the media and having them portrayed by disabled people. And
I love to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that, girl, because I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to the movies and I've seen the disabled character and they're just sad. They're not really a part of the movie, or if they are, they're either dying or really sick, or it's something sad about their story, and it just kills me. I remember seeing this one movie with one of my friends a few years ago. Was it Me Before You, or it was one of those movies, and I think the guy ended up dying. Spoiler alert. Sorry if anybody saw that movie.